From somewhere just outside Washington, D.C., I'm Brett Thorson with this Compute Cycle Deep Dive on the SkyDogCon Electronic Badge. For the past 2 years, I've been lucky enough to attend SkyDogCon in Nashville, Tennessee, and have received the Uber badge for participating in creating their CTF, along with some other gentlemen. So not everyone got an electronic badge that worked, and not everyone got an Uber badge, so I thought I'd take this time to show you what the Uber badge is and what the badges are supposed to do. The first thing we see is when you turn the badge on, it'll say SkyDogCon with 2 dogs on either side, the year 2013, and if you personalize it, as you can see I have done, Thor down at the bottom. So after you turn it on, we can see that you have a main menu. You have send messages, inbox, breakout, superpower, settings, and exit. The Uber badge has superpowers, not all of them do. So let's jump into the send messages. This is going to be used at the con, had they gotten them out fast enough, to actually send messages from one badge to another. If this actually had worked on all the badges and there wasn't an IR filter on the camera, you would see the IR emitter light up just a little bit. With some camera phones you can still see that. If we look instead at the inbox, which is the next one, you can see some of the messages that may have been received or sent using the send messages feature, or if you had visited different parts, you may have received messages that way. Going back to the main menu, you can play the game Breakout. Now, as you can see, while this is running, the characters up on top actually go from blocks to kind of lighter blocks to letters. Part of the SkyDogCon 2013 encryption challenge or cryptography challenge by G. Mark Hardy encompass some of the features on the badge, including that breakout sequence, and on the normal badges there was a little chess game that you had to figure out what the different sequences are. Going back to the main menu from that, you can go into superpowers. Now this is the Uber badge, so it has superpowers and you can send colors. We'll see what that means in just a little bit. IR debug and then exit as well. Heading back to the main menu, we'll go into settings. And here you can see a lot of different things. VGA out, if there was a VGA connector on here, you could output directly to VGA. Heartbeat, I haven't figured out what that is yet. The LED array, that's the going back and forth in the Knight Rider kind of style of the colors. Autoplay is for breakout. What we're going to do right now is set your name, so you can actually set your name as to how you wanted it displayed. You saw mine was Thor with an exclamation point down there. So coming back to the settings, we can also see show your name, set the badge color. This is where you can actually set what the Knight Rider is, what I call it, or the kit flashing back and forth looks like. Exiting out of there, you can see basically back at the main screen with the lights going back and forth. If you were a little impatient and you didn't want to actually play Breakout to see exactly what happened, you could set autoplay to true in the settings and then set Breakout to kind of play by itself. This didn't always prove exactly useful because sometimes it got into a loop where it wouldn't hit all of the different keys. So you actually had to autoplay it maybe a couple times just to see everything that there was. So let's turn that off and go back into the settings. Now back in the settings, you can set the LED or the badge color. Here I have mine set real low. If you look and you turn up either of those values to the full 255, it becomes extremely bright. It's actually hard to look at the badge in that case. So we have white and then kind of a purpley color, red, blue, and green, and any mix and match of those. What I did, so I wasn't blinded every time I used it, is I just set my green and blue values real low, so it was actually somewhat viewable most of the time. One of the things that the creators of the badge had done was they took little laser tag targets and modified the electronics in them to actually emit IR of the color that was on the laser tag target at the time. So I picked one of these up for 20 bucks, and you can see it's emitting a color, but it's also emitting the IR information to the badge so that the badge can also mimic that color. So before, when there was the send color in the special superpower settings, that's what some of these badges could do, is some of the badges could actually tell other badges to emit a specific color. If you wanted to get into test mode for the badge to see if everything is working, hold down the A and the B keys while powering on. That gets you into a test mode. From there you have a bunch of ones across the top. That means that the contact is open. As you change the left, right, up, down, center, and A and B keys, you can actually see those go to 0. So if any of those are 0 when you first start up, you probably have a short somewhere on the board. You can also see the IR information coming in and probably out as well, again, if you didn't have an IR filter on your camera. We'll bring in the laser puck here for a little bit, and you can actually see the badge not only changes color, but you can see some of the IR information on the bottom actually coming into the badge at the same time. A couple of tips for people who did get the badge at SkyDogCon. It came with a lanyard that has metallic ends on them and attaches to the badge. What some of the people have been noticing is that the metallic ends will kind of sit down back behind here and short some of the contacts out on the back and basically destroy your display. I've been looking into getting other lanyards basically with plastic clips. I haven't found any yet though that would actually fit inside the hole. Once I do find them, I'm going to be trying to sell them for like $5 shipped to people so that they can find something that they can wear their badge and not risk shorting it out. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone at SkyDogCon who made this possible. There were a lot of people who were up late at night soldering these things together, a lot of people calling China. There's so much behind the scenes. On the side here, you can actually see madmenwithaprop.com. That's a website that I don't know when these guys slept, but they already have up with information, a forum, how to hack the badge, what it should be doing, and a lot of the information that I told you here about getting into test mode there is also available on that website. So madmenwithaprop.com. If you have any questions, I would suggest going to that forum because that's all I know about this badge. Thanks for listening to this edition of Compute Cycle, brought to you by Activity Incorporated. I'm Brett Thorson. If you have any feedback, please let us know on Twitter at ComputeCycle or feedback@computecycle.com. Thanks for watching.
We've just said goodbye, could it be for the last time?